Alright, bonjour class. Let's get started with our French 1B Unit 6 test review. Okay, our first section, what we need to do here is multiple choice. You're going to choose the best answer that completes the statement or answers the questions. Remember, it's the best answer. More than one answer could fit, but you need to make sure you choose the best one. So first off, we have Je vais acheter du sel et du poivre à, is it A, l'épicerie, B, la poissonnerie, C, the charcuterie, or D, la boulangerie-pâtisserie? If you said A, l'épicerie, you would be correct. Okay, part 2 is matching. You'll need to match each food item with the shop or merchant who sells it. They may be used more than once. So take a look here. We have des tartes aux pommes, de l'eau minérale, du fromage, des carottes, du bœuf, et du saucisson. You need to match that up with A, la boucherie, B, la boulangerie-pâtisserie, C, la charcuterie, D, la crèmerie, E, l'épicerie, et B, le marchand de fruits et légumes, or A, C, la poissonnerie. So go ahead and match those up. So to match these up, if you for des tartes aux pommes, you would buy this at the boulangerie-pâtisserie. Okay, so that'd be matched up with letter B. De l'eau minérale, where would we find that? We would get that at the épicerie, our grocery store. Du fromage, cheese, where would we get that? We would get that at the crèmerie. Des carottes, where would we get that? We would get that at the marchand de légumes, des fruits et légumes. Du bœuf, beef, where would we get that at? We would get that at the boucherie. And du saucisson, we would get that obviously at the charcuterie. Okay, we did not use the poissonnerie here. There's nothing referring to fish. Okay, next section. We have vocabulary. What you need to do here is choose the option for the word here. So for example, fraise. Is it A, apple, B, strawberry, C, grape, or D, potato? If you said B, strawberry, you'd be correct. Okay, part 4, faire. What you need to do here is complete each sentence with the correct form of the verb faire. So you need to conjugate them to go in with the blank here. So for example, mes frères blank de l'anglais au lycée. So for example here, our options are A, fait, B, faisons, C, fait, D, fait, or E, font. If you said E, font, you'd be correct. Reason being here, mes frères is plural, so you need to choose the plural conjugation. Okay, part 5 is the partitive articles. What you need to do here is complete the following sentence with the correct partitive article. For example, zut, il n'y a pas blanc lait pour le café. Is it A, du, B, de le, C, de la, D, de, or E, de? So looking at our answer here, we first need to identify what lait is. Is it masculine or feminine? It is masculine, so normally we would choose A. However, this is a negative sentence. So because our sentence is negative, our only option here is E. That is our correct answer, E. On to part 6, pouvoir et vouloir. What you need to do here is complete the sentence with the correct conjugation of the verb in parentheses. So for example, we have Theodore ne blanque pas un travail ce soir, and in parentheses we have vouloir. So for our answers, do we have A, veut, B, voulant, C, peut, D, veut, or E, voulait? So when we look at our conjugation here, we look at our subject pronoun, which is Theodore. Theodore being one person, and our verb vouloir, our only option is D, veut. So if you said D, you would be correct. On to part 7 is vrai or faux. What you need to do here is indicate if the statement is true or false. So let's take a look at our example. Il n'y a pas de supermarché en France. If you said faux, you would be correct. This says there are no supermarkets in France, and we obviously know that that is not correct. Okay, on to part 8, our definite articles and partitive articles. What you need to do here is complete each sentence with the appropriate article. Make sure you pay attention to what the sentence means. Follow the model here. So on our two sentences here, our first one we have tu aimes blank légumes. So you first need to decide if you're going to use a partitive article or if you're going to use a definite article. So whenever we talk about liking something, we always know that we're going to use a definite article. So our options here are le, la, les, or l apostrophe. And if you said les, you would be correct, because we're saying tu aimes les légumes, you like the vegetables, and so because it's plural, our only option is les. In our second example, we have j'achète blank carotte. So here we know that we're going to be using a partitive article because we're talking about buying something. So here our only option is des, D-E-S, because we're saying I am buying some carrots. We don't have any other option here. So if you said les and des for these two examples, you would be correct. Okay, on to part 9. Now with partitive articles in negative. So we first have to decide, or we first need to fill in the blanks with the correct form of the article. So take a look at our models here. So we have on a blank les, and we have on n'a pas blank oeuf. So go ahead and answer these. Now in our first example, on a blank les, we know that this sentence is positive. So our only options are going to be du, de la, de l'apostrophe, or des. So we look at our word of lait, which is milk, and it's masculine. So our only option here is going to be du. So we have some milk, on a du lait. Now in our next example, on n'a pas blank oeuf, okay, so we notice that our sentence is negative, so we know that our only option is de. Now because our noun starts with a vowel, we have to make sure that we use D apostrophe. So this is the only possible options that we can have for these, du and D apostrophe. Okay, on to part 10, we have a conversation. What you need to do here is read the following conversation and answer the statements with either vrai or faux. You do not have the conversation here in this part because it will be just only on the test. Alright, part 11 are our culture questions. Please make sure you respond to these questions using a short sentence in English. Number 1, what's the difference between a hypermarché and a supermarché? If you said that an hypermarché is where you buy bulk foods and a supermarché is a normal supermarket, that would be the best answer here. So hypermarchés are much bigger than supermarchés. Number 2, what hours are small French shops closed every day? French shops are closed every day between 12 and 2 o'clock. Number 3, why do most French people prefer to go to small food shops instead of supermarchés? So most French people prefer quality over quantity. So they go to the small food shop because you get better food, but you do pay a little bit more. Whereas supermarkets for the French, it is a little bit cheaper, but generally the food is not nearly as good. Number 4, name one of the hypermarché chains in France. We talked about 2 of these, and their names are Carrefour or Leclerc. Number 5, why are there usually no set prices at marchés? If you remember from the reading, when we talked about marchés or outdoor markets, there are usually no set prices because the French love to barter. Barter, B-A-R-D-E-R, which means to negotiate for pricing. Number 6, what country came up with the metric system? France came up with a metric system. Number 7, what 2 days of the week are most French shops closed in France? They're usually closed on Mondays and Sundays. Sundays and Mondays. Number 8, name 2 differences between French and American kitchens. One of the primary differences is that the French kitchen is much smaller than the American kitchen space-wise. And number 2, the French do not have nearly as many appliances that Americans have. Number 3, not nearly as much room for storage, in particular when it comes to food goods and perishables and non-perishables. And number 5, the refrigerator is definitely much, much smaller, especially when it comes to the size of a freezer. The French generally do not like freezing their foods. And number 9, when was the metric system developed? The metric system, as we already said, was developed in France, and it was shortly after the French Revolution, and would have been in 1799. Okay, last part, part 12, is our verb conjugation parts. What you need to do here is conjugate 4 of our following verbs here. You will get extra credit for each verb that you conjugate after 4. And our verbs are avoir, aller, manger, vouloir, pouvoir, être, faire, and parler. Okay, that's the end of our test review. Good luck, and please feel free to watch this video as many times as you need to help you prepare. Bonne chance!